Alright, look, generally I think when it comes to this channel and the videos that we make, there is a decent balance. Yes, sometimes I will complain a little bit, but it's not as often as a lot of people seem to think it is. And overall, I feel like if we really enjoy something around here, we really enjoy it. If there's something that we're not sure about, then we'll say so. But 9 times out of 10, when Games Workshop unveil something, when something is announced or unleashed upon the world, there is at least something in there that I can get behind and find myself really enjoying. I think the balance is pretty much spot on most of the time. It's very rare that you'll hear me just outright complain about something. Admittedly, the Sakatar robots from like a couple of months ago now, a month ago, whenever they were revealed, like they got complained about. But it's very rare that it'll just be that with no sort of upside at all. And this is an awful lot of disclaimer. There is an awful lot of disclaimer going on at the start of this video, and you'll probably think to yourself, is that because you're about to complain about something? And you would be correct in that, because I'm afraid I'm going to have to be the problem. Because this one isn't even worth complaining about, which sort of calls into question the entire economy of YouTube and how it works, but there you go. This one, it's petty. It's petty, it's silly, it's not even a first world problem, because a first world problem needs to have some sort of basis in it actually being a problem, and I don't think this is necessarily a problem. But during the Warhammer Skulls event, they decided to show off Space Marine Mastercrafted Edition. All fine by me. People playing Space Marine for the first time, they're getting all the DLCs, the character models have been updated, the UI's been updated. Grand. Fantastic. I think it's only like 35 quid as well, if I remember correctly. I think that was the price that was given, which, you know, that's okay. Now, that's not the problem. None of that is the issue. The issue is my boy, Grimskull. The boys themselves. The orcs as a whole. Grimskull had lovely red armour, and Grimskull don't have red armour no more. He's got black armour now, and that, for reasons I cannot fully explain, has irked me in a way that it really shouldn't. Because let's be honest, it's kind of immaterial. It doesn't really matter. No one actually cares. Which, I mean, saying that no one cares, surely if no one cared, then no one would care about changing the armour colour to black from red. But you get what I mean. It's hardly the most key and fascinating part of the reveal, and yet for some reason, it's just not as good. It just didn't look as good. It's not as fun, and I can't really tell you why that is, but I also don't really know why they'd change it. I mean, I guess, like, maybe previously with the red armour, that is more of an Evil Sun / Speed Freaks thing, but in Space Marine, you're not seeing, like, a bunch of trucks and bikers and all that stuff going by, so them being a bit more Evil Sun / Speed Freaks in appearance doesn't make a huge amount of sense. But then, was anyone playing the game and sitting there going, well, this is all very good, but they shouldn't really be wearing red? Actually, I'm saying that out loud, and yes, there will have been at least a couple of people who thought that. But overall, did it make a huge amount of difference? Was it game-breaking? Was it experience-shattering? I don't think so. I would understand why they change it, shift it over to something that is more goth-like, especially since Games Workshop, you know, they tend to do their orc stuff kind of more paint them as goths than anything else for promotional purposes. But I say that out loud. If I remember correctly, on Warhammer.com, the orc page is just a mess of any colour scheme. It's just a whole bunch of different things. So maybe that's not even true. But either way, I would kind of accept it, right? I'd accept that as being the reason. Whether it's just a case of wanting to update it, make it a little bit different for newer players, whether it's a case of trying to line it up with Games Workshop's approach to marketing the faction, whether it's trying to correct the perhaps misapprehension that in actual fact it was goths all along and it wasn't Speed Freaks and it wasn't Evil Sons. Again, I would accept those explanations, but at the same time, I still wouldn't like it because there is something about Space Marine, and I think it might be the overall colour palette, but that red armour, that popped. That actually looked interesting. It added something. It gave it a bit of visual impact, a bit of oomph. Space Marine is quite a grey and brown and darker brown and lighter brown and lighter grey and darker grey game. And yes, the green of the orc skin does lift it a lot. So does the blue of the ultramarine armour and all the explosions and red blood, obviously. But the red armour on some of the orcs, that actually did add something to it. And even down to Grimskull just not looking as good as he did before. Like, there's less texture. When you look at the red armour, there's like little scratches and pits and bullet holes and dents, and you don't get to see any of that with the black. because it's the same colour as the armour that he's wearing. You know, all the dings and dents, they haven't been recoloured. They're the same colour that they were before, which just means they get lost in the armour itself, which visually just doesn't look as good. And I don't know why it's bothered me, but it has. I just don't like it as much. And there's a little part of me that thinks, that's not the way I played it. That's not the way I remember it. Therefore, it's wrong. Which, as I said at the start, this is a petty non-problem. It's not even a first world problem. It requires there to be an issue for it to be a first world problem. I don't even know if there's necessarily an issue here. It's more just... I think it's the problem. The Warhammer, the classic Warhammer player issue, where Warhammer players hate things changing and hate things staying the same. I am fully in that mode right now, and I've got to know, am I the only one? Is it just me? It can't just be me. There's got to be at least one of you who's like, yeah, no, that's actually not great. Or is it just me? In which case, I need to go away and reprioritise the way I think about things, clearly. But, I mean, that's not a secret, is it? The only thing, actually, that I would like more than them just, you know, remastering, put all the DLC together and doing all that stuff, making it available for PlayStation players, that would be good, because it won't be currently, which is interesting, because I'm sure the first one was on PS3. The other thing, if there was a full overhaul, if there was a full, like, Space Marine 2 graphical overhaul on it, that would be incredible. Like, it doesn't look bad, don't get me wrong, it doesn't look bad, and the newer character models do look a lot better than they did before, but there is something to be said for how good the newer game looks. And when you think about orcs, right? When you think about orcs, they are big, muscly lads, right? You could get some proper, horrible-looking orcs if they were in Space Marine 2 or Space Marine 1 was somehow reworked using Space Marine 2's engine/graphics, all that stuff. Like, you could get some proper gnarly-looking knobs in there. You could get a war boss that looks like an absolute monster. Like, a lad with that kind of graphical fidelity, where the arms, it would look like, you know, 5 kilos of raw chicken stuffed into a Ziploc bag, dyed green. It would look fantastic. All the, like, scars and stuff across the head that he's got, where it's all, like proper raised and bumpy, like fairy lights in a carrier bag. Like, you could get a really gnarly-looking orc in there, and that would be amazing. But in terms of just remastering it, just bringing it out again with Mastercraft Edition, which also, by the way, does that mean there's also a Relic Edition as well? Like, that's fine, but just don't change his armour. Leave it the same. It looks better. It looks better red. It just does look better red. And I'm not only saying that because back in the day my army for orcs was Speed Freaks. I'm not just saying that because of internal bias. Oh god, I think I'm saying that because of internal bias.